I'll
Okay.
let you intro it this time because I'm rubbish at it.
No, it's your channel. You introduce it. um,
All right, hey guys, we're back, and it's Doctor Who's back as well, and it's great. And this is a video just talking about it.
yeah,
As I said, we're going to be
yeah. Our thoughts.
doing these every week. It's going to be bloody
That's the hope.
two
Yeah.
this week. It's going to take all the energy out of me. Oh well, I'll try and be productive for the new year. Said no one ever. Um, but anyway, so what did you think? Because we've been holding off. I asked him what you think, and he says I'm going to save it for the video, and I'm sort of saved
yeah.
it. I just sent a message saying that was fantastic. What did you think?
Yeah. I saw. Um, I would say that yes, it was very good, and I certainly enjoyed that more than I enjoyed Series
Yeah,
11.
yeah.
Not perfect, but there are a lot of things I like about it, and I would say overall I do like it.
Um, Now I was gonna say sort of go through it all individually chronologically, which we will do in a minute.
Yeah.
But I just want to say the master.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did
Holy
because
shit.
yeah, that's literally when he said
Yeah.
the master, my heart literally skipped a beat. I was like, what is this going on?
Yeah.
Because
It's
I remember you saying you had some
yeah, it's a bit
spoilers.
awkward
Did you
because
know?
we were I well, let me explain. I can explain, all right? Because yeah, we met for Christmas dinner, and I said I know what's happening at the end because one of the YouTube channels I follow.
Yeah,
Well, I don't follow as in literally signed up to it, but I keep my eye on it.
yeah,
I don't know if all right. It was the TARDIS zone, and they
yeah.
put a video up after the day after Spyfall premiered at the BFI, and they said I've received some information that this happens. Like they end up on a plane. There's some stuff with a plane. Jodie Whittaker's performance is toned down. Stephen Fry's only a cameo, and the Master appears. And they had been saying before they'd had rumors that Goran something would be playing the Master.
Oh yeah.
That I hadn't really paid too much attention to it. Um, but I was sitting there thinking, is this true? Even though Goran, that actor did appear, and I was thinking, is this? I knew it was going to happen, but I was still unsure as to whether it was going to happen. It was only when they sort of the stuff happened, they went into the shed with the planes. I thought actually this could be, but he didn't really strike me as the sort of actor I would have cast to play the Master. But I think I need to see him more. But certainly, it was nice to see the tissue compression
Yeah, yeah,
eliminator
yeah.
back.
And
So all is
the
forgiven.
guy in the matchbox.
Yeah. So I did know it was happening, but it was still delightful to see it happen and know that things were right.
Oh, what did you think of the guy? I thought the performance was really good. He's sort of he didn't
Yeah.
channel the proper. I feel like we do need a serious master, as because the most recent, I think John Sim sort of channeled that wackiness,
Yeah.
and that he did have that, and
Yeah.
he was sort of a bit eccentric with
It's
it.
nice to
But
have deadpan and serious for a change after having so much wackiness. Yeah. But
he was quite still quite eccentric. I think I would like to see some serious scenes, or maybe. But I
yeah.
think
Um.
from what we got, I know it was only a few minutes. From what I got, I think we're probably
Yeah.
in for a good ride. He seems like he can do the
Yeah,
job well.
I think he reminded me of Andrew Scott, who plays Moriarty in the Sherlock series. He's got yeah, he can be very witty, but he's always on the verge of a breakdown, like seriously shouting insanity and all that guff.
I'm just looking on
But
Twitter
yeah, the
and
tissue compression eliminator is back. Yeah, that's all we need to care about, really.
yeah, a lot.
It could be Susan Boyle playing it for, or Miranda Hart for all I care, as long as we have the TCE or whatever it is.
Yeah,
But yeah,
Twitter's blowing up completely.
yeah. But yeah, I immediately thought this is a step up. I mean, we were told it was going to be ambitious, but I just thought the direction was so much more imaginative. The crew seemed to get along. It,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
it
yeah.
seemed a lot more natural,
More
and although
chemistry.
there
Yeah,
was some cringeworthy dialogue, and I think Jodie's still not quite doing it for me, but it was definitely an improvement
I didn't.
in
Yeah,
all areas.
I thought I didn't get. There weren't any too cringeworthy lines on my behalf. I
No,
think.
a couple, but they kind of been put out in the trailer as a kind of advance warning. But yeah, it was a nice balance, I think.
And
I was,
I'm so glad she didn't say the bloody bow tie line because I remember in our preview video I
oh
was having a
yeah,
meltdown because I knew she was going to say that and thankfully she didn't. But
and they're building up the mystery of the Doctor as well. There was a brief nod to that with the files on the cabinet.
yeah,
Um, And yeah, there was the obligatory joke about Stephen Fry thinking the Doctor's a man and that cliche
Yeah.
stuff, but that was glossed over, so that's fine. And then nice to see them acknowledging the sort of dangers of technology and corporations, although again that is sort of glossed over, but that's comes from packing quite a lot into an episode.
So, going through it chronologically, the
Yeah.
episode starts, and I like the way it starts because it does I feel like they probably should have had this in resolution, but obviously maybe it wouldn't have worked with the timing, considering
Yeah.
this is a two-parter. I liked how we were thrown into their everyday lives and situations.
Yeah.
We got more
Yeah.
development on
Can I
Ryan and
can I just yeah, can I just mention something?
sure.
It applies to resolution as well. I think it was worse in resolution, but it's only me. But one of the problems I do think there was, and it's quite a big problem, the font that they used for
Oh,
saying what the locations
that's
are. I
exactly
thought
what I was going to mention.
not as appalling as it was in
No,
resolution, but
because I was
still, I would have picked a better. I would have made it smaller on the screen and that
I was
guff.
going to mention that because just beforehand, I literally at 5:55, I was on a very tight schedule. I put on resolution
Yeah,
to watch beforehand. I
same
didn't
here.
get to see
Yeah.
through all of it, but I think the one thing, like the text was one of the worst parts of that episode. No, I was
Yeah, they could have picked Comic Sans and it would have looked
yeah,
better.
I had some notes with me. That was I
Yeah, I
didn't
should
write
have
much,
picked
but
some. I should have drawn some notes. But
that was the one
my
thing I wrote
biggest,
about because I
yeah, my biggest
did not like
concern.
it.
I mean, we waited a year for this, but obviously
Mm,
my biggest question going into this was, would there be a dedication to Terrence Dicks at the start? There
mm.
wasn't, but it was at the end, after the end
Oh,
credits.
was there?
So yeah, basically, I mean, the film, I would have had it at the start, so more people noticed it, and over black, but it's just over the vortex and the music's still going. Before the next time trailer, it says dedicated to the
Yeah.
masterful Terrence Dicks, but
Mm.
it's a nice description, quite poetic and fitting.
Yeah,
God bless you, Terrence.
absolutely. Um,
Who is Terrence? I've heard people talk about him, but he's apparently important. Just a joke.
yeah,
Yeah,
don't
I'm
murder
not.
him in the comments.
Yeah, sorry.
So what? I can't.
So we were going to go through it step by step, weren't
Yeah, we
we?
were, but one thing I need to mention beforehand: BBC drama. It had that at the beginning.
I didn't
This is
mind that.
crime drama. But no,
I
I
didn't
didn't.
mind that. I like it being treated as drama.
Yeah, yeah.
It means they're taking it seriously.
Mm,
But yeah, I will say I was a bit worried because the week in advance, I was getting quite worried. You might have seen me. I think I posted on Twitter about it that I wasn't excited. I was kind of, oh, Doctor Who's
yeah.
back. It was only, and I've worried that was because I was getting older, not because of the actual quality of the program. And I've kind of accepted that I don't jump up and down with joy in the week running up like I did before. But in the half an hour running up to the episode, suddenly it all happened. I started getting nervous. My bladder got full. I got quite
Lovely.
excited about it, and yeah.
My bladder got
So,
full.
well, I needed the loo.
Yeah,
That's a way of saying I needed the loo because
yeah.
I was
I need
nervous.
shit.
Like I remember before the 50th. It's funny how these memories stick in your mind. That we were in the cinema and I was like, I need a piss, and
The time I shit
I
myself
need
when
to.
Doctor
I
Who was
went
on.
and actually I didn't need a piss, but I was just nervous.
All right, well, fair enough then.
But yeah, I was excited. So if anyone was fretting over that tweet, because obviously there were a lot of people following my Twitter account, all 3 people. But
Yeah. Oh yeah,
yes,
he's got a Twitter now.
I
Go
was
go follow him
excited.
and go follow me because I've still only got 6 followers, but
Yeah, we'll talk
that's
about
fine.
that at the end. We'll talk all the details later on. But let's go step by step. We've procrastinated long enough, so you've got notes, apparently.
I don't. I've mentioned all the things
All
on it
right.
already. But
All right.
Ryan, that
Yeah.
was good. We get to see more of his life, more of his friends.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
that was okay. I don't remember much from that. But Yaz, she
Yeah.
got a bit more development in this episode. Would you say?
Yeah. I don't think that was bad. I don't think the domestic life was well done. I think Yaz got a bit more development as well.
More stuff with their
Certainly a lot to
family.
do.
Yeah.
I felt like Graham was Graham was in the shed with the Doctor. That sounded wrong. But Graham was in the shed with the Doctor, and who we later realised to be the Master. Spoiler. We should have said
Yeah.
this.
You should
It's
have.
obvious if
You
we're
should
talking
have
about the
seen
episode.
it.
Of course, we're going to be doing spoilers, and you should have seen it first, you idiot. Sorry, I have these turns. But yeah, I felt like what I'm trying to say is it felt like all the companions had an equal balance of things to do. Maybe not
Yeah.
Graham, but
Oh no.
he didn't recede in. I don't know if it's hard to say whether or not he receded into the background a bit,
As,
and he probably
as we
did.
said before,
But
I think this is the problem with
he
three
said,
companions.
yeah.
That
But I think they handled it better than last time. He had dialogue, and
Yeah, yeah.
but
No one was
yeah,
thrown into the corner like last series. I'm just looking at it now on. Oh, yeah. I'm going through it on BBC iPlayer because it's already up there.
yeah.
I'm just seeing the fun. What did you think about the bit where Jodie's getting the TARDIS MOT'd?
I laughed when I
I
saw
did. I
that
did.
for about a millisecond.
It was
Other
interesting.
laughs, yeah, I liked it. I think, yeah, Jodie Whittaker performances improved. I would have done some of the dialogue differently in the script, but yeah, I'm just looking on the internet. Radiotimes.com says an assured return, and yes, I would agree with that. Um, the Telegraph say no scares here. I'd kind of disagree with that to an extent. Certainly, the opening sequence was not as intense as other things I've seen, but I suppose if you're a 6-year-old child and you're only watch series 11, it is quite, yeah.
And then there's the bit in the car where the spy disappears and he gets killed, doesn't he? And then
Yeah, but I quite liked there were a couple of gags. I liked there was some nice surreal moments where the sat nav says in Atmos fashion in 5 seconds die. I liked that line. That made me laugh. Wasn't supposed to, but that's my black humour there. And then where it says on the thing 93% human, I wasn't expecting that. It just seemed quite surreal and nice to me.
Hmm. And then obviously the part we got a few clips of with Stephen Fry. What do you think of him?
Yeah,
He wasn't the main character. It's just that he was the guest star, which is
no.
why he was sort of hyped up so much.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked. Yeah, I was talking about. So I liked the humor, the sat nav line where it says in 5 seconds die. That made me laugh. As did where they look at the DNA thing and it says 93% human. I personally thought that was a nice twist for reasons I can't really explain. I just found it quite surreal and a nice
I've
twist. But I've
noticed.
said that
I've
already.
noticed we completely missed out the pre-title sequence, which was interesting.
Yes, they were talking about that in the Radio Times that they were going to have pre-title sequence. I thought it was a bit abrupt, to be honest.
Yeah,
But
it was interesting.
they're doing, yeah, the title sequence wasn't designed to have things before it, and I think it was a
Mm.
last minute decision that they did with this series that actually things might work. I don't know. Part of me thinks it's nice to not have it coming, but you need to be careful with that sequence. But what interests me, and of course, this is true Doctor Who fan and Iraqi stuff, but I think there have been some subtle changes, not so much to the title sequence, but to the theme music. I think it was mixed slightly differently, but you'd have to be eagle-eyed to hear it differently.
Yeah. As for the score, it was okay. The
Yeah,
James Bond bit was
yeah.
interesting.
I think I would have let the melody go on for longer rather than having the 4 notes loop, when they're going to the party.
Mm,
And I think I was worried they would do the Bond references a bit too explicitly.
mm.
A bit like a couple of episodes where Nigel's wearing the Iron Cross, and they decided to tone that down because they thought that was probably going too far. It reminds me of that, but I think there was there was the nod to the Bond theme tune, and the tuxedos, but that was about it. But that's typical Doctor Who being silly for the sake of it.
Mm. Um, the TARDIS as well, because I don't think I got to talk to you about this before. What do you think of the new
Yes,
TARDIS design? We don't get to see much of it, but from what we did
um,
see, what do you think?
I don't really have any thoughts on it. I wasn't particularly. I looked at the photos, and I know there have been some new stairs, but it's very like like the theme music. You'd have to be
Yeah,
eagle-eyed.
yeah, yeah.
I think it looks all right. Certainly, I think it's a lot. It's a warmer blue for the lighting, which works all right. I still prefer the Michael Pickwoad set, but then they could have replaced it with anything, and it would have been inferior. But no, I don't want to talk it down too much because it's not a bad set.
No, 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 it's
Um,
all right. It's definitely not my favorite, but not my least favorite. Some
yeah,
people hate it, but
yeah,
yeah, we actually a few of the shots from the trailer we get confirmed. We actually find out what the
yeah. Quite a lot of the shots.
we don't
I
find out
thought,
what the monsters are, but we get context at least.
yeah, I was hoping we'd find out. I was thinking at the start, like the first time we see him, we only see the white silhouette, and then the second time we see them in Stephen Fry's office when he gets shot, which is just criminal. But that that's publicity taken too far. I think John Nathan Turner wouldn't have. Actually, he killed Nicholas Parsons, didn't he? But yeah, we see a bit more of the monsters in Stephen Fry's office because they start wearing the walls and. But yeah, I. It'll be interesting to see in the second episode if they take that any further, what we learn about the monsters, if the themes around technology are taken any further. But I don't expect they will, because we're supposed to be dealing with Noor Inayat Khan in the second episode.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw the Eiffel Tower in the Next
Yeah,
Time
yeah.
trailer, so
There's the scenes with Lenny Henry and
yeah,
with Ryan and Yaz being the photographer and the journalist, which is that's okay. I didn't
yes.
mind that. That was quite good.
Well, we had seen that in
Yeah, seen it before,
advance,
so it
because
wasn't.
that was on the one show and then it got put online. I thought that was an alright scene
Mm,
when it first came out, as with the scene with Stephen Fry.
mm.
Um, yeah, I thought there was a lot of promise, but I needed more persuading. But seeing it in full, it makes sense, and I would certainly want to watch that again. Yeah, it was all right overall.
Not too bad. The bits with in the outback,
Yeah,
the hut, sort of tension drifted at that bit a little bit. It
yeah.
wasn't as
I'll talk about that
engaging.
in I'll talk about that in a minute. That's something I want to talk about. But I was thinking when the Australian bits come up, I was thinking this is going to get complaints from people saying this should have been cancelled because of the Australian bushfires. Um, But yeah, I mean, I was quite depressed last week because Gavin and Stacey aired on Christmas Day. I watched the first half of it. It was utterly depressing because it was supposed to be a comedy and it wasn't funny. It didn't make me react in any way. So I switched off. It got 11 million viewers. But what's somewhat more depressing is Fairy Tale of New York came up, and 11. I think some people complained and the media picked up on it. And the main talk, if you believe the newspapers, was that yeah. People were unhappy about the use of the F word in Fairy Tale of New York, despite it being a song that people love singing, as the BBC pointed out. What I'm trying to say is people complain about sad, dull things. And they'll probably do that with the Australian elements because they think it's insensitive with the Australian bushfires. I don't know why I mentioned that. I wanted to, but it doesn't seem that relevant now. It's just a ramble. But the main thing, I do think I was thinking when it first started, if the cliffhanger's not very good, I could probably see myself saying, why not just have the 1 hour 40 minutes? It's 2 hours actually, but have the 2 hours in full, have it like a feature length movie, which would be quite interesting. But to be honest, I was after halfway through, I was thinking because my bladder was full again. I was like, because I've been drinking too much, and I need a piss. I need a piss. I need a piss. Can this just please end? Um, but
We'll
yeah,
wrap up in a bit. Or you can.
no, it's all right. I've gone now. It's fine.
Right. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Someone else on Twitter has said the same thing as you. Um,
What? What's that?
um, I'm just looking through it again. Some stuff happens. The Lenny Henry scene, yeah, it's okay. Oh,
Yeah,
and they capture one
it
of
was.
the.
It was interesting to see Lenny Henry playing a much straighter role than he might have been than people are used to him
He was
playing.
good. I didn't mind him.
Perhaps same with Stephen Fry. I think Stephen Fry was good.
Yeah, there nothing, no faults really there.
No. Be interesting to find out what the place is at the end with all the tentacles
Yeah,
and
yeah.
things. Dad said it. Dad asked me if it was the void.
I wouldn't think
I
so.
don't know, but
Maybe the home planet of these things. I can't remember their names. Do they have names? I don't know.
yeah.
Um,
Well,
yeah, I don't think there's really much more to say about the episode apart from that ending.
I'm trying to think.
Oh,
So let
the
me.
scenes at the party with playing games and Jodie thinks she's playing Snap. Those were quite good.
Yeah, I liked that. I would have if I were playing the actor, I would have just laughed and yeah, done it. Like you would be in a party in real life. You do that and laugh and sort of own the joke, but. I'm not an actor, so what do I know?
At the time, I was thinking this, but now it's the master. not going to happen. I was thinking what was sort of going on between Yaz and O.
Yeah,
If was there something implied
yeah.
there, but it's just
Well, briefly, I think it was just him joking or exploiting her. But it was very interesting. They made a nod to the fact that actually Ryan fancies Yasmin's sister.
that was a
I
bit.
think that's a very deliberate attempt to, because I was thinking there was a scene in Rosa, and I was thinking they're probably gonna have a fling, but they seem to be ruling that out. Probably so that they can have Yaz date the Doctor, because
Okay.
that seems to be what everyone wants. Yeah. What was I going to say? There was something I was going to say. There was something that I was going to say. What was it you were saying?
I don't know what I was saying. Just the ending was pretty. I
Yeah,
just did
if you didn't
not
if you
expect
didn't see
that.
it coming, then
I feel
yeah,
s-
it's a good. They were saying it was a jaw dropping cliffhanger, and I would have seen how that would be a jaw dropping
well
thing.
the
I was a
cliff.
bit nervous
Hang on.
about the whole prospect of them bringing the master back because I think that was rounded off quite well enough in time. But it's gonna happen at some point because the master is such a loved villain. So yeah, I'm fine with him or her coming back. Just as long as they don't spend too much on it time explaining how the master actually survived the events of the Doctor Falls, because the master was supposed to have killed himself and herself, and that's the perfect ending. But like Davros, they can't leave it alone. But
I think
I don't mind them not going into
I
that.
think what
Let's just
I think what would have been a better cliffhanger is I think the tensions were so high with the bomb's going to go off, the plane's going to crash. There's the master there. What he said, everything you know is lies. He said something like that to the doctor.
yeah, that would have been a brilliant final line.
Yeah, and then
Um,
but then it's slightly resolved. Even though it isn't, because we don't know what comes of everybody else. Do we not? I'm just looking through it again.
um, I think they're still stuck on the plane.
So they're gonna die.
Yeah,
Jodie's in this massive noodle place,
yeah.
and I'm gonna sneeze, and I'm gonna make it really loud on the microphone.
Okay, okay. Just as long as I don't catch the germs.
I think it's gone. Um,
Okay.
Next time trailer. What do we think?
Yeah. So we have the Eiffel Tower. That shot from the trailer that looks lovely.
The
Certainly prettier than some of. I wasn't sure about some of the special effects. Maybe I'm judging too harshly, but they did look a bit rough around the edges compared to before, but only a little bit, only slightly.
the city looks
But
fantastic, but
yeah, Paris looks
I think the
fantastic.
way it was shot looked pretty good.
But I liked. It seems what we're going to have a part one, which is a very set in the present, and then part two they end up in time, and it's completely left field. We end up exploring the life of Noor Inayat Khan, a spy from the past, which is a very interesting direction for it to go
Oh
in.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm just trying
I'm
to remember. I mean, I haven't got it up on iPlayer, but I'm just trying
I'm
to.
looking on Wikipedia, and the viewing count hasn't been confirmed yet. At least I don't think. No, it
Well,
hasn't
no,
been.
it will take. We won't know till tomorrow morning what the overnight ratings are. But to be honest,
Okay.
I'm not expecting them. Faris, who's a very good YouTuber that we should all check out and aspire to. One of the smaller ones. He said on Twitter he was only expecting a maximum of 6 million viewers. I think that's probably, I don't know, given that it's been a year's wait.
Hmm.
And I don't feel like there's been a lot of publicity. That might sound harsh because I know we've had a lot of excitement on social media, but social media is not the world. And in the real world, you've had the Jadoon propping up at London Victoria. Certainly, I accept that. But apart from that, the trailer I've only seen once on TV. But then I don't really watch BBC One that much because the Christmas schedules are getting more and more appalling every year. I did hear the radio trailer once, but yeah, if you're not on social media and you're not keeping a close eye, if you're not an avid Doctor Who fan, keeping an eye, it feels like it's preaching to the converted and not doing a lot to. But I don't know.
It
It just seems quite light to me. But it's been the same for the last few years because they no longer outsource it to another company to do the publicity. They used to have a deal with Red Bee Media, and now they do it themselves. Blah blah blah. But yeah, it does feel a bit lighter compared to before. I mean, when Peter Capaldi's first season came out, you had photo shoot outside Parliament Square. You had the TARDIS popping. There was the world tour. There was the TARDIS popping up on a sign at Heathrow Airport. I think there were big billboards, and it seems like we don't get that so much now. But that's just me being cynical,
Ha,
probably.
cynical who? Funny.
Yeah.
Looking on here, the title is just because I haven't seen this before. You mean you've probably read it in DWM, but obviously it's a two-parter, so we're going to see how it pans out
Yes.
in on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, not long away. Oh, just
Yeah.
hit my microphone. Um, the third episode is called Orphan 55.
Yes, and it's written by Ed Heimer, who wrote
Yeah.
"It Takes You Away," the episode that you like,
Oh,
but I was never able to make up my mind
well,
on. I need to watch.
don't
I need
love
to
it.
watch it again, but my recording's corrupted.
Just watch it on BBC iPlayer.
Oh yeah, I could do that, I suppose, couldn't I?
That's what I've been watching on. I'm not spending money on that shit.
Yeah, I've got BBC ID, so I can do that.
Well, there we go then. Um,
Yeah.
I think
Um.
that is probably all that
Yeah.
needs to
If
be
we were to
said, I
rate
think.
it out of 10, what would we say? Obviously, it's the first part, and we'll see. As you say,
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes in the second part. Because we've had it before. We've had Stephen Moffat two-parters where the first part was promising, and then the second part effed it all up. Hellbent. Um. Yeah, I mean, Hellbent's not bad. It's just a bit meh and
Yeah.
unnecessary. Heaven Sent would have been a perfect closer, but
Well, yeah, I suppose. Um, as a mark out of 10, I'd give it a solid 8 because obviously it was good. It did a good way of setting things up. There was a good cliffhanger. There
yeah,
wasn't closure, but of course
yeah,
it's only the first part. We will have to wait until Sunday to
yeah.
see how things pan out. But yeah, I couldn't really think of many flaws with it. It's definitely an improvement
No,
since
I
last
felt
series.
yes, a step in the right direction. It felt big. It felt ambitious. It certainly wasn't a home movie shot in your backyard, but then I wasn't expecting it to be. Um, I need to see more of the Masters portrayal. I'm still not 100% sure of the way Jodie Whittaker's handling it, but that was much better than last series. Some of the dialogue was cringe, but again, that was greatly improved.
Yeah,
Not
it wasn't.
100% perfect, but
There was still the odd
I think,
fam here and there, wasn't there?
yeah,
But
I'm still not keen on that. But we'll see. I need to watch it a few more times and see if my enjoyment grows or lessens. I don't know if it's going to hold if it was just the excitement of it being back, but I would say for now 7.5 seems like a safe
yeah,
bet
yeah,
because it was better than Series 11. Not perfect, but it was better. I don't think it deserves a big critical panning or lashing. I certainly don't think that at all.
no, I don't.
But that but what do I know? It's only my opinion.
Tree didn't like it that much apparently. I'm looking,
Who?
Mr. TARDIS.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
well there we go. I
Uh,
don't. Yeah, it was. I don't think it's getting particularly negative.
no, it seems to be. Well, let me just check on Twitter.
Yeah, most people are
I
just.
should be checking out some of these live streams that are happening right now as we record this. If anyone's wondering why we're not doing a live stream, there are just too many going on.
Yeah, we were going
Um,
to do it, but we decided it'd be better for a
yeah,
video.
and it's also doing it over Discord is a bit fiddly.
Oh,
So,
they've made a on the official Doctor Who YouTube channel. They've made behind the scenes video
oh yeah, I'll need
about
to
the car
check that
chase.
out.
Apparently,
Anything interesting
oh,
happening there?
it's just about the car chase.
Ah, yeah.
Just the usual interviews. Um, but yeah, I think it was quite it was quite good. Performances were good. It was shot fantastically. The
Yeah, the direction was excellent. Certainly so much better than
visual effects were quite good.
the stuff. And I feel like a lot of the things that Chris Chibnall did in Series 11, although I didn't like Series 11, I found it
We've
dull on the
we've
whole.
made that
But I feel
evident.
like, yeah, you might have noticed. But a lot of some of the things he's doing are starting to pay off, like the whole unit plot line. That was brought up again.
Yeah, Unit and Torchwood. They've
So,
done. Have you seen the new Torchwood?
yeah.
They've created an official Torchwood YouTube channel. There we go. Now you can watch all
Yes, and an
your.
official Chair of Jane Adventures channel. I
Oh,
can't
have
wait
they?
for the yeah, it's bringing back a lot of good memories
Yeah. Well, there we
of
go.
childhood when life was good, unlike now. What's the point? Sorry, I'm fine now.
And I think with that,
I'm just I'm looking at Twitter. There are a lot of F words going on.
yeah, there always is, isn't there? But
So yeah, it was nice to see Torchwood get a mention as well. Not at all clutching at straws.
oh, okay, things make sense now.
Sorry,
Things make a bit more sense now. Um,
what makes sense?
I've just seen Billy Garrett John from the Review of Death. A few weeks ago when the trailer dropped, he tweeted. I retweeted this. It was a thing. There's a picture of on the trailer. There's a picture of Ryan inside a TARDIS-looking thing, and he said it was the Master's TARDIS. And now he's just retweeted that, and I think he might be right. And if it is, it's an
Oh, we're
interesting
gonna have the
sign.
Master will have his own TARDIS. I mean, we had the TCE come back, so
But if this is his
yeah.
TARDIS, I don't really like it that much. It's
Well,
probably not.
I haven't seen. I'm not sure I've seen that photo, so
Oh,
I will do the honourable thing, and I will see what happens
oh,
when we actually go to see it on Sunday.
yeah. Well, there we go. So we will be
I'm
back. We will be back on Sunday making another one of
Yeah,
these
I'm not
videos.
at all. I was hoping it would move back to Saturdays, to be honest, because that's personally more
Yeah,
convenient for me, and it just feels more like a Saturday show for reasons that I can't explain. But really, do I have to explain them? Are you that sad to want an explanation?
I'm perfectly honest.
Um,
It's probably it would have been easier for me if it was on Saturday because don't expect these
yeah,
videos to be up instantly because it's a bit of hell to edit
yeah,
sometimes and
yeah,
just expect maybe a
yeah.
Monday or even
Better you
Tuesday
than me,
upload.
Ollie. Better you than me.
I'm gonna get you back one day. I'm gonna have you making some of these videos.
Yeah, there is. I do have an idea for a video, and I'm quite keen
Pay
on
you to be my
editing
editor.
it myself.
What
Certainly,
a
yeah.
relief. And
Yeah.
there we
So
go.
it's something I'm interested in doing, don't worry. So
Mm,
thank you very much for listening to us. Is there anything else we need to say about Spyfall Part 1?
Not really. I think it was just yeah, good.
Yeah, it was
Good
good.
episode. I enjoyed it. Hope you
Yeah.
guys enjoyed it. Do let us know what you
Yes.
thought in the comments and stay tuned
Yes,
on.
please do. And spread the word about this
Yeah,
channel.
do.
And yeah,
Please do.
thank you for
Follow us on
watching.
Twitter, whatnot.
Thank you for listening to us ramble about Spyfall Part 1. Yeah, I'm actually personally happy that they've started referring to the two-parters as this part 1, this part 2.
That's very good again.
Yeah.
Because like the
I,
Zygon inversion and the Zygon invasion, why can't you just call it Invasion Part
I mean,
2?
that was an interesting. I liked Series 9, they were quite clever with the names, but because they were quite similar to each other. But I think that was interesting spin on it. But
Anyway,
having had two parters for so many
we're
years at
rambling
many
again.
different,
We're
it's quite
rambling
refreshing
again.
to. Yeah, thank you for listening to us ramble. Follow, yeah, follow the channel on Twitter at CynicalWho.
Correct.
Is that?
Yeah.
Yes, and you can follow me on Twitter at mcorpwilliams. I also share electronic music that I've made myself,
Yep.
very clumsily on SoundCloud and
Get his
Bandcamp
new
under the
album.
name mcorp,
Another new album.
M-CORP. Someone's told me it's very good. Someone from Germany liked it as well. So, yeah, it's
got
only
business.
£1 on Bandcamp.
£1.20 with VAT now. So there we go.
Yeah, and and I only get 76 pence of it. I need to calculate these prices a lot better so that I get more money. I need to take the taxes into account and the VAT.
But hey, that is
yes,
the video
enough of that.
done.
Yes,
Thank you very much for
and
tuning in, everybody, and we'll see you
yes,
next week.
Sunday.
Oh, Sunday, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yes.
Goodbye.
Hopefully, it's very weird not having a week in between episodes of Doctor Who.
Really,
only having a few days.
A relief, though.
But yeah. I mean, a week between cliffhangers is too much, isn't it?
Mm.
But it'd be interesting to see how many more two-parters we get this series. But yeah, that was a step in the right direction.
Just for clarity, I don't want to.
talk...
I know we're supposed to be ending it, but just for clarity, I think there's at least. I think the finale's a two-parter, and I think there may be another one in there. So there we go. With that, that's the.
Sorry, say that again. Because you cut out.
There will be some more two-parters in the series. I think it's been confirmed.
Yeah, they have said that. It'd be interesting to see when they happen or how many there are.
Yeah. Well, with there we go. This is the end of the video now. Thank you very much, everybody. And
is it?
Yes.
I think this is the end of the video.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. This is the end.
For God's sake.